say, for all those people on different ups and downs of the world here, the time period I'm talking here, our winter in Canada, is from December 21st to March 19th. So this is the time span of where a lot of these readings will be running into, you know, give or take a couple weeks here or there. This will be for Pisces for the winter. Here we go. The first card is See the Truth. So, and I know that was because we had See the Truth and something about some other thing about truth. So it was like we weren't seeing it, and we're still not seeing it. So there's a block there. Something that these Pisces are not picking up on, or not seeing the truth of. They're not understanding completely fully. That kind of thing, still there. It's crossed by show that you care. So there may be a situation where you're not seeing clearly, and because of that, holding back, holding back your emotions, holding back on giving outward in the form of love or appreciation or even caring in that way. So having that show that you care is really going to be hard for you to do over this time, especially when you're not seeing the truth. So I think a lot of what these Pisces need to do is really just figure out where that truth lies. And in the meantime, I think really, I'm getting a defensive here. The mentality is, I don't know what's going on, so don't ask for anything. You're not going to get, because until I figure out what's going on, you know, I'm not. So that's the challenge, is to kind of break through that veil and show, you know, and maybe in one direction that you're locked. So just, you know, maybe check that out. But try and break through that barrier. Try and not hold those emotions hostage, basically. Try not to do that. Try and push past that. So that's going to be a challenge for you. It's going to be hard for you to accomplish. What is up in your mind here is observe in silence. And I feel this has a lot to do with the truth, getting to the bottom of the truth here. It's kind of like, okay, I'm just going to wait and see. Not even wait and see, but I'm just going to watch. I ain't going to say a word. I'm just watching. I'm going to let things fly in the directions that they need to go. And that is something I feel for these Pisces they just need to do. And I don't feel like anybody's going to come and take you off that. I think you're going to have kind of a blessed union with the universe, like, okay, we'll let her go through this process. Because you need to get to through that process of watching in order to make up your mind about something, a decision, you know, whether it's about a relationship, a job, or people in the workplace, or people in your relationship circle, friendship circles. There's something there that has piqued your interest, that you're like, it has to do with trust. It has to do with trust and gaining trust, and you're like, that's okay, I got the rest of my life and I'm going to watch. Because these people are going to show their true colors, and then I will react. And I have a huge feeling that has to do with the truth that you're not seeing. You're knowing that there's something missing there, so now you're looking. You're going to observe and see what you can pick up from that. You know, I think a lot of these Pisces are getting lost in their intuition. I think they're not knowing which way to turn. I think they've made a lot of good decisions in the past, but they're getting to a point where they're maybe, you know, had their trust trodden upon, or they've had some instances that have proved frustrating for them. Frustrating and hard on the heart. So I think that in order to really come through that, and a lot of them I think are being blocked from the truth. I feel like this is a process. In order to learn a lesson, you've really got to go through this process. It's something that in your past you really, you know, just been, how do you say, pampered with, you know, like, that's okay, we'll learn it next grade. Well, that's okay, we'll learn it next grade. And now it's like, okay, it's got to be dealt with. It's got to be dealt with. It's at the point where, excuse me, you cannot move forward unless you deal with this issue. And it's so blocked, it's so third grade ago that you have to deal with this, that you're kind of lost in it. Because if you would have dealt with it 3 grades ago, it would have been, oh, okay, yeah, I understand, I get it. Sorry, I gotta take a lozenge for my boys. I get it. I understand it. But we've let it go too long. We've let it pass too long, and it's just not serving us. So it's harder to find, harder to access, and harder to understand 3 doors down here, you know, from where we should have opened that door a long time ago. So observe in silence is what's on your mind, that's your little thing. You're looking at things, you're seeing the dynamics here of the fingerlings of all these people, how they're interacting, reacting to you, and not even to you, but to others. Gonna see what's going on here. That's okay. I'm in a mode, I'm gonna watch. That's really what's overseeing the whole thing. So what's passing away is embrace the dark. That's interesting. Because I feel like we've come through a dark period, and not necessarily I'm getting half-assed. Okay? We're dealing with grief, sorrow, disappointment, a lot of things that are dark and have pulled us down. Like we were up and then we got pulled down. And then now we're coming, and it's almost like they're saying, you know, it's like, yeah, half-assed. We didn't deal with things the way that we thought that we did. We didn't deal with them in the proper manner. We did not put all the clothes in the suitcase and lock it. There's stuff hanging out. It's not neat and tidy. So, embracing the dark, like, and they're basically showing me here the 2 angels here. So the light of the day, and she's got her back, oh man, she's got her back to them. She's not listening. So there's intuitions coming through that are of a higher nature that we really turned our back on. So therefore, this energy is passing away and feeling like you just maybe are kind of coming back to the light a little bit here. You know, you've been embracing the dark before this, and it's funny because I didn't have it in the other readings, so it's almost like in between there was a flux here where there's a little bit of negative got carried in here and threw you off track, and suddenly you turned your back. Suddenly you turned your back on the light, the good, you know, the positive. And so that's passing away, so that's a good thing. We'll go from here. What's in your near future is love without condition, is just directly related to that show that you care. Wow. So a huge challenge is to open up, I think, to the caring and the loving. Not putting conditions. Okay. Yeah. There's in the angel's wing behind. There's a 3, like it's amazing because I was just looking at tattoos and shit for symbols, and there's like a 3 swirl. And to me, this is to me, I mean everything's to me, but the 3 swirl is kind of a symbol of spirit. Everybody will have their things that remind them, like, you know, beetles that remind them, not beetles, but those little, what do you call them, ladybugs remind them of somebody that passed, or a butterfly, or a dragonfly, or whatever. Everybody has a symbol that means something to them personally. Now they're making me aware of this 3 swirl, like I know what it is, and it's half covered by the angel wing there, but it's a 3 swirl, and it's basically the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit. I'm not in a religious way. I'm never, you know, but to me that's like the earth, the sky, which is heaven, whatever you want to call it, and then what's in between, which is like our higher self. You know, what you're grounded with, what is in your present, and what is in spirit. Spirit, you, and, you know, the earth kind of thing is the way I look at it, in a natural way. And she also has her back to that as well. So not realizing the dynamic here of what we have to deal with. And then I could say that's true for me. I could say that's true for me. So I think a lot of these Pisces are really on a path where they've had their heart either stomped on or shut down for various reasons that at this point they really feel valid in. And that is wrapped up in the truth. I think a lot of this truth that they're seeking, I think, needs to come from that place where their heart was stomped on. So they really need to get grounded in that. I'm not seeing a clear outcome here, but so loving without condition is in your near future, and being right beside the challenge card is like, is that going to be something you open up to? We'll see. I'll carry on here. Wash away your burdens is in your far future, your distant future. So I think you're going to have to realize, these Pisces are going to have to realize what it is that is really burdening them. I think they're feeling it. They're feeling the pressure. I think they just don't know where it's coming from or how to alleviate it. I think they're confused. They're kind of just spinning around in a circle, not knowing what to do or how to do it or anything like that. So thinking that the root of this, the root of clarity, is washing away the burdens. So what they need to do is focus on what it is that is burdening them, and then go in there and just start attacking it. And I don't mean that in a conflictive way, but I mean going in there and deconstructing, okay, if this is burdening me, how do I get rid of that? How do I get rid of that feeling? How do I get rid of having that as a burden? How can I, alleviate that in some way? So along the path here is trust in magic. I feel like I'm feeling some of these Pisces may be losing their mojo a little bit in the ways of having that magical experience with the world, with the universe. I feel like they're going, it's all garbage. I feel like they're, kind of not giving up. I feel like these Pisces is actually in a position now where they really know that they cannot give up, but in a way are feeling fed up to a point where, they're not seeing the direct correlation between the results and what it is that their purpose. Like the Aquarius, if we work from the Aquarius angle, they're just starting to realize things are happening, so they're trying to be aware. And the Pisces have gone through the magical phase. They've gone through, oh yeah, this, I can get this, and they've gone through that flow. Now they grabbed onto a branch and they're going, is this really, am I really going downstream? What's going on here? I don't like the current. What's going on? Like, I can't figure it out. So they're kind of being resistant to change, So it's almost like believing in magic. It's like, don't let that go. Don't let that go, because that's really what is going to help you fuel. But I feel like there's just a phase here where not a lot of love and not a lot of magical stuff is going on. And they may not really, almost like a pause, they may not be really getting into anything in a good flow, in a good way. And it may have to do with this moon. They're showing me the moon right away. It may have to do with this moon. It's just going to kind of settle and then go. And I feel like a lot of people will be affected by this moon, but I feel like these Pisces, it's kind of going to blip. But in a different way. You're not going to be up all night. You're not going to be all active. You're not going to be all hyper. You're just going to be on pause until it dies down, and then we'll bring you back in and let you feel all that. I'm feeling that kind of a blip. It's like, oh, we'll just, the Pisces. Didn't feel it with the Aquarius, but the Pisces is like, well, we'll just get them over that. I don't know if it's just because there's too much going on, what the deal is there. Maybe I have to look into astrology for that, but that's what I'm getting. There's a blip for these Pisces. They're going to kind of just be on pause until the energies settle, and then we'll throw you back in. But to believe in magic, I'm feeling like they're kind of stepping that aside. See the signs. Oh man, I know for a fact I've got a lot of signs in my way. I know that, when you're in the flow, you get numbers coming at you, you get symbols, you get synchronicities, like 90, you get synchronicities, and seeing the signs and working from that. I know I've been in my life ignoring a lot of that. Just a little too much information, don't want to take it in at this point. And for whatever reason, I'm like, I just don't want to hear it. And so they're basically kind of sitting here going, yeah, we need to be looking at that. You need to be going back to that, because that's the root here. That is where we communicate with you. And I know that I have been frustrated by the process. Getting the symbols, but not having manifestations. That's my problem. Is, and I don't know, maybe some more Pisces out there, that you're seeing it out there in symbol land, you know, seeing all the signs, but it's not a lot of change happening. So that is really where I'm getting frustrated. It's like, I'm not listening to that anymore, because it gets my hopes up, and then I get dashed. So that, they're saying, is not what we're to do. We're supposed to be looking at them, taking note of them, and watching and waiting in hope. And that really is something that I have lost, a complete hope in that. So I've changed my direction. I go in a different direction, and then I can manifest in that way. And that is my attack strategy. I don't know about you guys, but the universe is kind of behind me. They're like, if that's what you want to do, that's what you can do. That you have every right to change your direction. Just don't give up hope, I guess, and pay attention to the signs, because they're there for a reason, and we need you to be attentive to them. Doesn't mean you have to react from them. You just have to be aware that they're there. So if you're having, if you're getting frustrated, you Pisces, with seeing a lot of symbols but not a lot of action, just keep being aware, and just maybe try not to fly off on it, but just be aware of what's coming at you, because it is there to really warn you and help you. I'm saying warn, but it's there to make you aware of what their agenda is. So signs, those symbols, and it doesn't have to be, I mean, it doesn't have to be by the book, like seeing the signs, going with the signs, being aware of them. You don't necessarily have to react. They're like, we wish you would, but you just need to be aware that they're there and pay attention that they're there. They're saying the faith will come. We know that it's, you know, like hard at this point to be faithful in things that decline themselves, but they're saying just be aware of what's going on. Share your thoughts is along the line here of what we have to go through. So a lot of what the Aquarians are going through is just basically speaking outward, which the reason I lost my voice, because I haven't been doing that. So sharing your thoughts there, trying to get you to speak out. These Pisces, for whatever reason, and I feel like this is also connected with your truth, you need to speak out in order to have that truth come back to you. If you retain all the information, all the doubts, all the fears, and this is not a thought process that they want you to be on anyway, they want you to speak from it, because you will get answers. It may not be from sources that you admire, but they will be of the energy of truth coming at you. May not be in the forms that you want to hear it, but it will be the truth coming at you. So you need to speak from that, from your own truth and from your own being. Speak outward more in ways of what you want to solve. I mean, I think Pisces are good yappers, but we need to really speak from what it is that we really want information about. I think when we get really deep and serious, sometimes we think people can't handle it, and sometimes they can't. But we need to speak more grounded truths to others, so that there's an opportunity really for the universe to come at you and go, yeah, you know, to hear it from someone else. You have things rumbling around in your head. May not be. Well, may not. It is not. We're not seeing the truth. I mean, the truth is in your immediate, and I feel like you're in the unveiling of it. But I think the Pisces, and I know for me as well, we can tend to unwrap things in order to make it fit reality in our own way. You know, taint things a little bit, manipulate, if you will. It's going to be like sandpaper, you know. It's going to be abrasive, but you need to know that to deal with the reality and deal with the truth and move on. Now, so you need to share your thoughts in order to get those truths back. If you're a Pisces out there and you are looking for answers for certain things, you're like, I want to know what happened. You know, whether it's a relationship that broke, and what the hell is going on? Like, what is it? Speak outward. You don't have to go to the source. Speak outward from it and go, yeah, I really wish I knew what it was, because it will come back to you. It may not come back right in that moment, but word will go around, and then boom, you'll have something that will give you a signal. So watch the signs. Maybe the universe will come at you. Maybe the universe will give you symbols, and you'll have to put that together, because I feel like it's not going to be a direct answer. I feel like you're going to have to suss it out and go, So if you're not in the mode to receive it, you could go, that's just a coincidence. No. You need to listen to the coincidences, because they are there to tell you what is really going on. In fact, I think a lot of these people I'm feeling in relationship situations that are looking for answers, they're gonna get it in those synchronistic kind of ways. So watch for that. Sharing your thoughts will help. Don't do that in a vengeful way. Do it in a way that you're looking back at yourself and evolving. By that I mean, you're going, gee, you know, what did I do? How did I contribute to this? I wish I would have known, because I don't feel that I deserved, da, da, da. Be balanced about it. Don't be imbalanced. Because I'm getting a lot of anger and resentment from people in relationships that are really, you know, they've had a break, they've had a cut, and just not, you know, just anger and resentment and blame. So they really got to look at themselves and figure out what it is that they did to contribute to. And even though you feel like you're in a position of non-contribution in that way, non-deserving of that, you do need to look back and figure out where it was that you went wrong. Looking into yourself for your own emotional support, because you're not going to get it outwards. You just won't. Interesting. Anyway, so the end result card, love that you are different. I feel like through this process of unveiling this truth, and I don't know, yeah, I feel like it's going to be a hard learn here. I don't know if the truth, I think you're going to get signs of it. I think you're going to get whiffs here and there of what could have been. But I feel like that itch is not going to get scratched. I feel like you're not going to feel appeased by this. I feel you're going to go like, I just need to know, I need to know, but the answer's there. It is there, it's just, you're not going to be appeased by it for some reason. Like, you could put it off. It'll be lightly in a way. So, the end result, love that you are different. I feel like you really are going to come out of this process a different person, even though you're really not going to get that answer in the way that you wanted it. The way that you wanted it, you're not going to get it. But you do have to accept the way that you do get it, and you do have to use that internally to soothe some of that angst, some of that frustration that's going on. You need to soothe that. And I feel for some people along this path, they're just maybe floating through the breeze here a little bit. They're not so deep entanglement with these issues. I feel like they're just kind of, you know, kind of getting a little depressed, kind of going through the process, and then bouncing back up and going, you know, what is the purpose here? What am I, you know, am I in the right way? Not in doubt of where they're going, where they've been, but why am I having fluctuations like this? And that really is part to do with the universal energy shifting. So the Pisces are really sensitive to that. So these Pisces that are kind of like, oh, this reading doesn't really relate to me, they're really floating on a barrel here. And they're just kind of waving. So there's not much going on over the winter. It's going to be pretty even keel for those ones that are, you know, but there's some fiery Pisces out there that are going through some stuff. And for those, it is a matter of finding truth, but it is not going to be revealed to them in the way that they want it to be. So having a situation where finding out this truth, where you really don't find it out the way you want, it's making a huge change in your personality. it's a huge development actually through your persona. But anyway, the outcome card here is change, and I'm going to do clarification. My battery's dying. Shark. Trust your instincts to discern the truth of the situation. So there's the answer right there. It really won't be clear, and you won't get a direct definitive. It's really just expanding on what I was picking up of the situation coming to you instinctively. So you're going to have to let that appease you. You're not going to get that concrete grounded answer. You're going to have to go inside, because nobody's going to admit to that. There's people that can, but a lot of people outside of you are going, oh, I don't want to, you know, I know the answer, but I'm not going to say, that kind of thing. So they're all going to pussyfoot around you, and they're just going to go, no, I'm not touching it. This one here, she's going to bite me. If I give her that information, she's going to bite me with it, and that is the truth up until, and maybe that is part of the lesson that you were meant to learn, is not to bite the hand or the messenger that comes across. Do not, you know, so a little bit of gracefulness to learn through that process. So yeah, you're going to have to use your instinct to get the answers. And I feel like through February, March, near the end of the run here, I think you are going to get those answers intuitively. And you will get little whispers outside, or little, you know, that look from someone where you're going to know, yeah, they know. And yeah, they approve of that, but they didn't say. They're not going to speak it. It's like locked. These people are not speaking that truth. So watch for the voices cutting off. Then you know, hey, that's the one. That's the one there. I can't talk today. Or have trouble spitting things out. That's really them holding back, you know. When your voice stops or your voice breaks, it's you holding back all that information. So for the Pisces, good luck. There's a lot of introspection that needs to happen, and a lot of accepting of some grace, being less conflictive. People are just so scared to approach because they're just going to get one of these. They're going to get it, you know. And so you got to be more graceful, because then people will come at you in faith that you're going to deal with things, not in maybe not in a physical manner, but in a way that is constructive. And not only that, is to your best abilities. And I think you're learning that, going through that process, trying to make things as smooth as possible. So for Pisces, for the winter of 2016, yeah, very interesting. Take care, have fun, and be kind. And for all the people that subscribe, thank you again. I appreciate it.